Good afternoon. I appreciate y'all having the patience, first of all, to come down and stay, because from the last almost hour and 15 minutes, we was expecting you to come down, but Mr. Lawrence was in a meeting, and what we wanted to do was get with him first out of respect for the school and his position to see if y'all would make it down. So I'm gonna introduce myself to you. My name is Dyrell Muhammad, and I have been to the school the last 6 or 7 weeks. And what I have been doing, I have been speaking to various aspects in terms of grade football team. And I asked to speak to the seniors. So even if you're not a senior, I'm gonna say some things today that I know will revelate with yourself. But before I go further, I'm gonna have a question and answering. That way that I can see if anything that you need to say to me at that time. Because I'm gonna say some things that I know that's relevant in your life. And I'm gonna give you a brief history of myself. I come from the neighborhood, and me coming up in this neighborhood, I'm real abreast with Dunbar High School and the significance of Dunbar High School. My grandmother graduated from this high school in 1924. And my family lineage comes out of this school. So I'm gonna get started because I don't want to take a whole lot of y'all time, because I know after this you got another class. But it is better to walk alone than to walk with a crowd going in the wrong direction. I'm gonna start right here because of the decisions that you have to make every day. It's life-altering decisions, and I'm one of the brothers that's in the communities 7 days a week, dealing with what you have to deal with every day when you leave school. And I have to commend you, first and foremost, for being in school when so many of us young men is making the decision to do whatever they're doing. But first and foremost, I ain't going to school. So I'm gonna start with the education and why I use the terminology, it is better to walk alone than to walk with a crowd going in the wrong direction. Since we are in school and since we are students, we are taught as students to always go to the etymology of words, because if you go to the etymology of words, meaning the root of words, because we speak English, English comes from Latin or Greek. So the word education comes from the Latin prefix ed, which means, or duco, which means to lead, and the verb ed means out of darkness. So when you are truly educated, you are led out of darkness into the light. All right, Mr. Muhammad, why did you say that? I'm saying that because practice doesn't make perfect. I'm gonna say it again. Even though we're students, and you're right, I heard you, brother, that's why y'all brilliant. Practice don't make perfect. Perfect practice make perfect. Because if you are practicing wrong, then the end results is gonna be what? It's gonna be wrong. And this practice make perfect. Have you ever wondered why LeBron James spend between $2 million and $3 million on conditioning every year in the off season? Have you ever wondered why Floyd Mayweather pays his coach or pays his trainer? Have you ever wondered why Serena Williams, even though she retired, why she paid a coach? Have you ever wondered why Steph Curry has a trainer? Steph Curry has a coach, even though he's the best three-point shooter that we have ever seen in our lifetime? What are you saying, Mr. Muhammad? Even though they are professional athletes, they pay people for correction. Let me say that again. This is why I ask The younger brothers that came through the door, looked and left out, I told them to come in. Okay? And that's the beautiful thing about it, because I guarantee you, bro, there's going to be a situation that arises where he going to wish that he stayed. That's the decision that I got to make. That's the decision that y'all young men have to make every day, because this is what the issue is a whole lot of time. Can't nobody tell me nothing till your ass is in the hospital or you up to D.C. jail. And this is my message. Don't call me. Don't call my phone. Because if the truth can't get you, then the circumstances will. And this is how serious this situation is. You got 13, 14, 15-year-old children killing in the streets of Washington, D.C. I'm trying to figure out the attitude, the spirit, the mindset of a baby to kill. And we have the mitigating gall to say, I ain't trying to listen to nothing. So whenever you have that attitude like that, then the circumstances we gonna have to deal with them. And this is why the murdering rate is constantly going up amongst our young people. Can't nobody tell us nothing. I'm saying, whoa, this is heavy. They pay people to be corrected because they want to be right. Do you know the psychologist says and teaches us that the mind don't understand the consequences of its action till it reaches 25 years of age? Not one of you sitting in the seat right here is 25 years of age. That's how serious this is. That means that your mind is still developing right now, even though you're still in class as a student. And this is about the beautiful thing about us, and that's the beautiful thing that I see in y'all as young men. The discipline that y'all have, not just the football team, the discipline that y'all have. That's what amazes me, because when I look at all of y'all, I'm looking in your eyes. And what I see is a diamond. Uh-oh. What is a diamond? A diamond is a large piece of coal that did well under pressure. Let me say that again. A diamond is a large chunk of coal that did well under pressure. As a matter of fact, the diamond or a diamond is the hardest material that's in the earth, a diamond. That's what I see in y'all. I'm coming with something, brother. When I look at each one of you, brother, I'm looking at a diamond. Why, Mr. Muhammad, why did you say, and why you mentioned a diamond? See, a diamond endures 2,200 degrees of heat for billions of years. Meaning a diamond is formed under pressure. And that's the pressure that y'all have to live with every day to make the right decision every day. Don't know the parental guidance that you come out of in terms of your parents, but I know the decision that y'all have to make every day is so serious that you got to make the decision, are you going to stay alive, or are you going to let somebody, because that's the thing now. It's like a fad now. The assaults, the murder, it's like a fad now, to the point that Mary Bowser don't have a choice but to charge 13, 14, 15-year-olds as adults. Ain't no more going down no Oak Hill and all, because don't nobody know what to deal with or know how to deal with this serious situation of a generation of killers. This is heavy. And then you in school. That's why I come to do what I was trained to do. To just help y'all see the decisions that All of us have to make. It's just not y'all. All of us have to make. So I'm going to cut it short for some question and answer, and I'm going to move it forward because this is a little different group. Before I can get it out of my mouth, y'all responding, so that tells me right then and there that there's some questions that y'all might want, and I'm going to answer them as truthfully as I can and go a few more minutes, and we're going to get out of here. Any questions? Any questions, young man? What about you, brother? I know you got a question. Any question? Ain't no wrong questions, and this is the beautiful thing about it. Them the mistakes that I made. You know, I was a pretty good student. You know, I knew the basics. I knew how to read, write. I knew the basics when I was in the classroom. And there were certain things that I didn't understand that the teacher was teaching because I'm learning. Because of my studying myself, I can look back and say I didn't have the proper self-esteem because I was more concerned about my other peers, what they may think by me raising my hand. So I knew that I didn't know, wanted to answer the question, but didn't want to raise my hand. And this is why I'm making y'all as comfortable as I can, because ain't no wrong question that you can ask me. That's why I gave y'all my history for a reason. Yes, sir.
I said, what was the reason you got 35 with no parole?
Good question, brother. I had a first-degree murder charge.
Self-defense?
No, I was innocent. You know, everybody say they're innocent. And this is what, I'm not going to take a long time, but this is a decision that I had to make, right? I stayed up to D.C. jail 3 years. A prosecutor, I had 9 prosecutors. The case was so weak, the prosecutor didn't want to take it, right? So what they did was they found a young man in the neighborhood. He had 6 distribution charges. 6. So he had 6 distribution cocaine charges, selling coke. He had 6 of them, not possession, selling. So they got a hold of him and say, okay, would you testify against Mr. Muhammad? He said, I ain't got no problem with doing it. I knew who he was. So when he testified after my trial, he gave me an affidavit saying that he lied. You asked me a question that's so significant, that's why I paused. Before I can get sentenced, I had an affidavit from him saying that he lied even though he testified that he seen me commit the crime, right? It took me 23 years to get home. That affidavit did get me home. But it took me 23 years out of my life. I was 32 years of age. They knew I was innocent because when I came home, that was the first thing that the judge that let me go said. There were circumstances around Mr. Muhammad's case that he was innocent the whole time. This is why I'm talking about the decisions, man. See, I'm passionate when it comes to y'all. Because ain't no doubt about it, you got to deal with that reality in which I had to deal with, or something similar. I left in 1998. The reality was totally different than it is now. I left in the 20th century. This is the 21st century. So the reality, that was a beautiful question. The reality in which I had to deal with and the circumstances in which I had to deal with was, y'all got to deal with something more, I'm talking about far advanced than that. So when the young brother looked and say, okay, I'm gone, I say, okay, this is heavy. See? Because I already know what the end result is. You in Dunbar as a student. You ain't in Dunbar to be playing no games, man. Because once you graduate out of Dunbar, truth be told, you're dealing with a reality in terms of the gravitational pull of reality as a young black man in America that you're going to have a foundation to deal with it, man. And I'm telling you, as a young man, those people that you walk past, that you see strung out on dope, those young men or those men that you walk past that's alcoholics, something broke them. They wasn't like that all their life. You don't get on alcohol and you don't get on drugs like that. Something caused them to get like that. This is why this is so important. Because what we like to do, we like to act like we tough. We like to act like we know. But this ain't the time for acting. You got to know. This is why I started off with making the right decision, man. You got to make the right decision every time. I got to make the right decision every time. That's why your question is beautiful for me, because now that I'm home, I don't want nobody around me like that. I'm real sociable. I'm probably one of the only homies that can go in any neighborhood. I'm real sociable. Ain't no doubt about that. But I'm not allowing anybody around me like that based on my experience. It was me in that cell 23 hours a day, bro. Me. I ain't take nobody with me. That was me in that cell, bro. And damn it, your mind got to be so strong dealing with your op, you know? I did 15 out of the 23 in solitary confinement. Didn't have no problem with. Right now, I'm still supremely disciplined, man. Still eating 1 meal a day. I don't go out. I ain't got no time for no clubs. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I'm going to live a productive life. And this is what I'm saying for y'all. Out of their experience, it caused me to be more serious in terms of the decision that I have to make. You see? So when you mentioned, where did I go? I had a first-degree murder charge. Well respected in the city, ain't no doubt about that. But see, the thing for me is, back then and now, that was me. That y'all don't have to go through nothing like that. Because that was me watching the young men, 19 and 20, come in them penitentiaries getting on medicine. And I'm smacking the medicine out their hand. Nah, we're going to deal with this, man. What it is, you know, he came to the realization that he can't do 90 years. Ain't no maxing out no 90 years, bro. So that's what I had to deal with the brothers that made the wrong decision every time. Now, all you can go back and reflect on the hood episode of you coming in a penitentiary. Man, 5 or 10 years, ain't nobody care nothing about. They don't even remember you no more. Give him the mic, brother. You got a follow-up question.
Who was the victim of the charge?
It was a young black male.
So it took them 23 years to find out you was innocent?
Yeah. See, once you get in them places, the judiciary system is inherently racist. 1 second. I'm going to give you the, hold. Give him the mic, but let me finish. This is what you dealing with, bro. So when you talking about against all odds, man, you know, you might not see, and this is why where there's no vision of people perish. Your mind is ahead of time. Right now, when I leave here, I can see me going straight to Starbucks on Martin Luther King Avenue, even though I'm talking to you. My mind is ahead of time. Your mind got to be ahead of time. That's why I don't play with your mind. They know I was innocent. They ain't getting about that, bruh. Whole time. That's why I stayed up to jail 3 years. You don't stay up no jail no 3 years waiting on no trial. The judge had to force them to take me to trial. They didn't care nothing about that. On either side, the one that's being killed or the killer, they don't care nothing about that. That's what y'all dealing with. You got to know what you up against. That's why I'm passionate about this. You got to know what you up against, man. So you got to make the decision every time the right one to navigate through all of this. So his homies gave me 8 affidavits, man. I ended up running into them. Bruh D ain't done that. We know who done it. Bruh D ain't done that. Bruh D ain't done that. I put all that together and found me a motion. You know, and the sad thing about it is, along those lines, the seriousness of it, 2 lawyers took my money, the first one and my last one. I just got a lawyer disbarred. She didn't even know I was home. You know, so that's bro. I mean, that's the reality to live with, because at the end of the day, being in a situation like that, really, truly not knowing if you coming home or not. So you don't want to put yourself in positions like that where you're away from your family, because everybody that's incarcerated, their family is incarcerated. That's how serious this thing is, man. And if you got any children, man, you can't rely on nobody to raise your children if you a father. That's the duty and responsibility as a father to take his child farther. That's why it's father is different from a baby daddy. See, a baby daddy, all he does is provide the sperm to produce the child. But a father, he takes the child, teaches his child, and takes that child farther in terms of his knowledge, wisdom, and understanding how to navigate through a hostile environment. That's why I commend y'all. Don't nobody have the time. Everybody in a rush till they get there. What's your question is, brother?
Oh yeah, what you get locked up for?
I had a first-degree murder charge. That means they saying it was premeditated. I meant to do it, right? And I'm not going to run this back, even though you just came here. They knew I was innocent. But it didn't make no difference for me because, of course, I went to trial. But for them, they didn't make no difference because even though they know I was innocent, they wanted a conviction. They don't make no difference. Truth be told, they don't care, brother, on either side. You know, and I'm watching. The brothers that's coming home, the same ones that spent the money to keep them incarcerated, is the same ones that giving them a job. So what did that tell you right then and there? That's why I'm talking about a diamond. See? That's why I'm talking about a diamond. Let me say this again, bro. This is why I'm talking about a diamond. See, that diamond, it took 1.1 billion to 3.3 billion years for a diamond to be produced. But it wouldn't become a diamond if it didn't stay in the process. I'm telling you, as students, stay in school, stay in the process. I'm going to say that again, man. Okay? Stay in the process, man. You coming to school to do one thing. You ain't coming to school to chase the little sisters. That's not you. You're a young man. Okay? That ain't your purpose for coming in here. Your purpose of coming in here is not to be roaming no halls and trying to find a way to get out of these kind of meetings and get out of your class, because you're going to have to be educated in this world. You're going to have to be. That's why I got these 3 college degrees. I got these 3 college. One of them is a business degree. That's why I got my own business. Another one of these college degrees is a social and behavior science that's dealing with crazy thinking people. In my last degree that I got here in American Studies, I had to study America. See? So I utilize my degrees, meaning my education, every day to help my young brothers and sisters, particularly my young brothers. You see? And that's why every time one of them leave, I say, because I know what it means. Can't nobody tell you nothing. That means the circumstances, and don't none of us know what the circumstances is, and before you know it, you see one of the brothers on the news, right? And then you got to be truthful without being prejudiced or biased because you know him or he's in Dunbar, and you got to reflect as a self-examination and say, damn, you ain't want to listen. I got to deal with that every day with our young people. Sometimes I got to deal with my generation with it. You know, some of the brothers that I came back home, they still stuck on the corner. I've been gone 23, they still on the corner, bro. 23 years. That's a reality. So you got to ask yourself the question, all right, first of all, are you going to graduate? Are you going to have the grades to graduate? And after you make that decision, okay, I'm going to graduate, what kind of job? Are you going to pursue? Because if you really don't have the intelligence to know how to make a job, we're in trouble. That's the reality that we got to deal with. That's why I got my own job. I mean, my own company, bro. I got a security company. I'm taking all contracts in all major hoods. I ain't asked the government. I don't want no government contracts. I got to be free to say what I need to say. You know? See, so where the police ain't going at Brother D going, because I can. You know, see, so at the end of the day, I'm doing multiple things, protecting people's person and property, but to make sure these young brothers like yourself be able to make it home with their mothers and their fathers and make sure we stay alive. That's where I'm at with it. So it's more than a job. I'm in the community 7 days a week, man. 7. Ain't nobody paying me nothing. I'm fine. Ain't nobody paying me nothing. I got to be free to say what I need to say. That's why I come in here. I stopped doing what I'm doing to come in here. Because at the end of the day, words are beautiful, but action is supreme. Everybody got something to say, but everybody ain't gonna do nothing. That's why, okay, Brother D going up Dunbar, can I go? No, sir. We ain't doing that. Because you should have been involved in this before I start going in. Don't wait till another man paved the way. Then you want to go in, take pictures, and get on Instagram. Nah, we ain't doing none of that. Your life is too important. That's why I talk the way that I talk. Because this is serious, man. Just to lose one of us. Come on in the back, brother. Give me the respect that I'm giving y'all. That's, prison taught me that. Not that y'all are disrespectful. What I'm saying is two things can't occupy the same space at the same time. If you talking, then of course you can't listen to me. And if I'm talking, most definitely the way that the mind was structured, I can't listen to you. Any more questions before I go further? You got a question, bro? What about you, youngster? No, you got a question. You got a question, big brother?
How's your day today?
How you doing, big brother?
How you doing, brother? How's your day today?
I'm fine. How you?
Uh,
Give me a question, bro.
huh?
Give me a question. There's my little homie right there. Yeah, he played a hell of a game, too. Give me a question, bro.
Obstacles that you face while being in jail.
Say that again.
Obstacles that you face by being in jail.
The obstacles that I faced, first and foremost, was me. The biggest obstacle that I faced was me. And I'm going to tell you why I said it was me, and it's still me, right? I made the decision when the judge said that I was never coming back home. I made the decision right there that I was, right? So that's a hell of a feeling, brother, right? To lose trial and somebody telling you that they sentencing you to death in prison. I made the decision before I even went to the old Dyrell penitentiary, I'm coming home. So the first obstacle that I faced was me, because that's what I had to deal with. I had to summon the strength within my own self to believe that, right? And then I had to manifest that, because after I believed it and manifested, beautiful question, I had to deal with the gravitational pull of the savagery of the feds, right? And this is what Washington, D.C. streets prepared me for, right? I ain't with nobody. When I got off that bus in Torrey Hut, I ain't with nobody, man. See? Everybody ain't strong like that. Because at the end of the day, so much is transpiring in them penitentiaries like that. You got elements in there. What I mean, you got elements in there. You got the, Bloods, Crips. You got the Mexican Mafias. You got the MS-13s. You got GD's Vice Lords, Dirty South. You got people from overseas. You got all of those elements in there. The only difference for me was I was Muslim going in there. And because I was Muslim, being taught and trained to do what I'm doing. See, I was already taught and trained to do what I'm doing right now. That's why I can go in the street 7 days a week. I went in there already Muslim, meaning taught and trained. I was already in the streets dealing with our people, having the compassion and having the love for our people, and so forth and so on. So I'm saying I ain't what y'all is. So I was challenged on that naturally. Things was happening, and I'm saying, I ain't moving. See, so I used to say inside, homie is a clown. What do you mean? We out of D.C. I ain't moving because we out of D.C. So I had to be one of the ones, because even though I had 35 to life with no parole, I'm not going to allow you to steal somebody's property, man. Where I got to put my life on the line because you can't get a money order from your people because you burned all your bridges. I'm saying no. naturally you got to deal with the gravitational pull of that. And this is why I'm saying when I look at y'all, man, it's a blessing for me because I see myself in y'all because y'all strong just like that. So I had to deal with that. After that, my major obstacle was I had to deal with the feds. I just got too strong, you know, to the point that, you know, you got to deal with everybody's issues. Bloods, Crips, skinheads, Ku Klux Klans, Pisces, Serranos. You got to deal with all of those different issues on them penitentiaries. You know, so I did the 15 years in solitary confinement because I wouldn't let them call me up to the lieutenant office and ask me about what was going on the compound. You can't do that. Even though they know all the good that I was doing, them people, like now, them people don't care nothing about me going in these neighborhoods stopping this killer. They don't care nothing about that. Nothing. Nothing about that, bro. They stopped me just like they stopped the average person. Give me tickets. My car might be parked a little bit over the line. They know exactly who I am because they got a dojo on me. They know exactly who I am. So I deal with that, but I got to deal with the greatest of intelligence. That's why I started off with, like I said to the football team, the decision that y'all got to make. Man, this is heavy what I know what y'all got to deal with because it's heavy for me. It's heavy for me, man. You know, I'm in them neighborhoods, man, and summertime brothers talking reckless. I'm talking about reckless. Sometimes he got that. Ain't no doubt about it, I know he got it. So the decision that I have to make is I can't allow my emotions to supersede my intelligence because I ain't coming up out of there. So I got to, okay, what you saying? Then I got to downplay it, take the aggressiveness out of it to see what the real issue is. And the real issue really ain't got nothing to do with me, it's what he's dealing with. That's why I'm having these conversations, bruh, because I'm still dealing with it out here. And like I told y'all at the football team the first time I met y'all, I got major opposition out here. And I came home and got a S550 Mercedes-Benz, man. Working hard every day for myself. People don't like it. I'm cutting family off and everything. Don't even call my phone. Got to go like that. And that's why I use the terminology, bruh. It is better to walk alone than to walk with a crowd going in the wrong direction. Man, you ain't leading me nowhere. So I enjoy more of my freedom now because I didn't have it. You're telling me I got to go in the cell at 8:30. I'm a grown man. I got to go in a cell at 8:30 with another man. At 8:30. I can only use the use the telephone every 15 minutes. Come on, bruh. I got to live like that. Truth be told, by the decision that I made, come on, man, no. So my biggest obstacle, you right, brother, was in prison. But truth be told, society is a prison. Because everything physical got a spiritual equivalence to it. And everything spiritual got a mental equivalence to it. The people's minds out here is confined, man. And then when I listen to the conversation, because speech is the index of the mind. And when a person opens their mouth, I can tell you what's on your mind, man. Everybody feeding off filth, bruh. Gossip, slandering, and backbiting. I don't want to know what somebody else doing. I'm too busy living my life. And this is why if it doesn't evolve me, then it don't involve me. Let me say that again. If it don't evolve me, then it don't involve me. I ain't even trying to hear it because the greatest business in the line of business is to mind your business. And if you ain't got no business, get you some business and leave my business alone, man. Facts, facts. I don't want to hear nothing about what you doing, man. I'm too busy doing me. too busy doing me, man. I'm too busy living my life. So I don't get into that because we too tall to be small. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again, Dunbar. Man, we too tall, bruh, to be small, man. And majority of the conversation is for small-minded people, man. Because what we should be talking about is graduating and building a life for ourselves. Why we have the opportunity. Thank you, brother, for helping the homies. I said earlier that we are a diamond. Have you ever taken into consideration that grapes must be crushed to make wine? I'm going to say it again, brother. I love grapes. Have you taken into consideration that grapes must be crushed to make wine? Have you ever thought about olives have to be pressured to release the oil? I'm going to say it again. Olives has to be pressured to produce the oil. And ain't no doubt that seeds grows and develop in the darkness. Okay? And this is why we have to prepare ourselves to be successful. We have to prepare ourselves to meet and overcome all obstacles, because y'all got to deal with something, once again, that I couldn't fathom to deal with. And truth be told, I can't stand up here in truth and tell you how I will handle the decisions that y'all have to make every day. I didn't have to do that, brother. See? I ain't have to do that. Y'all got to make some decisions every day based on what y'all got to deal with. I ain't had no 13-year-old talking to me crazy, but got that gat with him. I ain't have to deal with more so trying to get to and fro, and it was a drive-by where I got to drop down on the ground like that because I'm around the city. I hear it, you know, especially during the summertime, some of the former players or some of the players from other schools didn't make it coming out of practice. You know, I hear it because I get the telephone calls from the schools. Any more questions? Got a question, big homie? What about you, brother? Give me a question, brother. And you played a good game too, bro. Yes, sir. I seen the whole game. You played a good game, bro. Who got a question? Anybody? Give me a question real quick, brother. Come on, big brother. Give me a question.
Oh, my fault. Whenever you bought your car, like, what feeling you had, like, what's the feeling that you had after you bought your car?
That's a beautiful question, bro. So fast, and I'm moving up in society so fast. I'm around the mayor now, bro. I'm around the branch of C. Sosa. I'm around people that has to make decisions. I'm around certain federal judges educating them on why they shouldn't send their brothers to jail that has addictions, give them programs. So I'm around people that has to make those decisions now to answer your question. Man, ain't no doubt about it, I feel elated, brother. I went to an exotic auto dealer in Laurel. That man had some cars on his lot, bruh, that, of course, it fascinated me. I'm talking about real racing cars and all that. Of course, it fascinated me. Now, and I want you to take in consideration what I'm going to say. I didn't have no credit or nothing, bruh. I built my credit up like that in probably the first 12 months, man. I built it up. I was in jail 23 years. This why, thank you, brother, that's why I'm not playing with these brothers out here. Ain't no way you can tell me that I just came home. I've been home probably 26 months You've been out in the street 23 years while I was in there. You still stuck in the same position, even materially, bro. Now, why the hell you asking me to listen to you? You don't want nothing. So I'm telling you how I felt later. I didn't feel like that in the beginning because I never had a Benz, bro. I never went to no car dealer on my own. Purchased the car, then before you even can get the car, you got to get insurance. So later on, I'm telling you, not the process, but how I feel. I felt elated. The reason I felt elated was, all right, I started a business. That car's in my business. That car's not in my name. So somebody had to teach me that even though I'm telling you stay in Dunbar, I got a business degree. So I'm telling you stay in Dunbar. I got a business degree out of prison that taught me how to do business. So I didn't put it in my name. That's in crisis management unit name. That's in my company name. That's a company car. So when the brothers that I'm around, some of them rappers that you know, Puffy and them, Jay-Z and them, so when some of them brothers come, they want to be escorted. So that's what that really the Benz is for. It ain't for me to drive around because I got an Infinity. I didn't say anything about that. So that's a beautiful question. Now, after the feeling is gone, the reality is there's a note. But I almost paid for it. It's almost paid for it already. And I'm ready to trade it in. That's why I'm having these conversations with y'all, because I ain't in the streets no more. I'm working hard, bro. I ain't struggling. I'm working hard. I get $10,000 a month, man. 10 grand a month. That's just the average of it. 3 bank accounts, bro. That's why I got $500 and $600 shoes on. Gators. I wear what I want. Go to the store. Travel where I want to go. And this is why I'm giving you the blueprint. Because outside of these speeches, I'm going to do everything I can do to make sure all y'all are successful. And for the ones that wasn't here, next Monday, Barack Obama's former Secretary of Education, R.A. Duncan, is coming in from Chicago to meet me in D.C. He wanted to walk the streets with me in D.C. I'm going to tie what I can do, man, to the young generation, because what I don't like, I don't like older brothers and sisters like me talking, lying, and not making word bond. Get a brother the mic. He got a question.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, you got to tell them about the money you raising.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Clock.
Good question. Last year, I had our first annual Returning Citizen Day, which we made history in Washington, D.C. That was last year, July the 16th. My mind is on all them brothers that's locked down, that didn't make it home like me. I get all the calls from them, go see their moms, do what I can for their children, because for me, it's leave no man behind. So even though I'm out, it ain't just me being out. I ain't leaving them back in them jails like that. Because we was in there, bruh. Not only we was in there, but we was keeping each other strong in them places like that. And that's one of the reasons, and somebody asked me, which brought out of me, I talked to some of the judges, bruh. I'm dealing with CSOS in them. So when they do come home, I can help giving them the resources. Matter of fact, Mara Bowser, director of MORCA, Lamont Curry, that's one of my best friends, to make sure when the brothers come out, give them all the resources that they need. Now, to answer your questions directly, right? We already have the second annual Returning Citizen Day coming up. Right? Last year, I raised $75,000 in 3 days. I didn't ask nobody from government, from nothing. All of them thought that I couldn't do it, but I did it. And this is why I'm explaining to y'all. what you know how to do, don't worry about doing a lot of this. And that's what I learned when I was your age. You do it, then talk about it. See? Don't talk about it, then try to do it. You do it, then you talk about it. So what I'm doing is I'm attaching all the high schools to the brothers in prison, to the gun violence. And probably the next 8 months, ain't no doubt about it, it's going to be successful, because last year, even though everybody thought it wasn't going to be successful, and it was, and I did it by myself. And then, what's your question is, brother?
I said, have you ever thought about how life would be if you ain't go to jail?
Yes.
Why?
And I'm going to tell you why. Dan, that's a brilliant question, bro. The football team heard me say some of this, and I'm going to say it again, but on a whole higher level. I was highly talented, bro, when I was your age. I'm talking about highly talented. I had enough intelligence to make it, but I was highly talented means out of basketball, baseball, and football, my favorite sport was football. I was a football star back then. Unfortunately for me, playing in the street, you see? Unfortunately, listen, bro, unfortunately for me, playing in the street, I used to come to Dunbar homecomings every year, bro, because I was hustling down the street on 7th Street, 5th Street, 9th Street. See? So I used to come to Dunbar homecomings every year, right? Knowing that I could play, because I can play. I'm talking about play real well. Playing, though. Listen to the language. I was playing. See? And this is why I'm coming here speaking to you the way that I'm speaking to you, because I squandered my opportunity. I went to jail. And even when I went to jail, I found out how good I was talent-wise, because I ended up going down to Youth Center 1, down Lawton. Right? I broke every Lawton record, every one of them. I was running a 4.2 and a 40. They was calling me back then Jerry Rice. And the coaches, one of them used to play for Dallas Cowboys, one of them used to play for the Washington Redskins. That's the advantage that we had over the men in Big Lawton and them other institutions that we had professional coaches, just like Bink. Because we used to play Bink in them. Bink used to play for 70 All-Stars. They used to come down off the street and we used to play them. He'll tell you I used to torch them. So I had the talent, and they tried to get me in school, still playing the game. Still wanted to run the streets, still playing the game. Came back home, caught the murder charge. Cost me 23 years of my life. See? 23 of it. First degree murder charge, bro. That's what they said. You see? See, so the sad thing about it was, and you said it right, they knew I was innocent from the beginning. They didn't care. They didn't care about him, and they didn't care about me, because this is what y'all have to deal with. See? Y'all have to deal with the gravitational pull of reality that's inherently racist. I'm going to say that again, and I'm going to slow that all the way down. You dealing with a world as a young black man that the gravitational pull of it, the odds is against you. And this is why it's so important. This is why it's so important. Are the questions that y'all asking me. That's why I didn't restart again. Because the questions that you asking me, not only I'm transparent, but I had to deal with it, and I have to deal with that every day. Okay? About the mistakes that I made. Now, the beautiful thing about that, when you go back and correct the mistake, then it ain't a mistake no more. I'm going to say it again. Some of us too proud, haughty, conceited, and boastful, can't nobody tell me nothing. When you get to that level that can't nobody tell you nothing, that's when your intellectual demise begin right then and there. You finish. Can't nobody tell you nothing. That's why when the guys came through the door, look, I'm gone. I laughed. I wasn't laughing at them because I seen myself in that. And I had to deal with that when I was in that damn cell, brother. no windows, no books, no radio, none of that. So I had to deal with that in my mind, brother. All the mistakes that I made. That's why the question that you asked is a brilliant question, because I had to deal with that. That's why now I'm more thoughtful than anything, because I got a chance still that the things that I got to get done and plan for, I put myself in a peaceful environment that I can think how I'm going to get it done. Any more questions before I move forward? You got a question, youngster? What about you, brother? Anybody got a question before I move forward? All right, we're going to move forward. Do you know, because I'm going to slow it down till y'all finish talking, young brother, because what I want you to do, if it's just that important, dismiss yourself, because if I can hear the whisper, I know that it takes away the attention from the guys that's listening to me, because I'm looking at y'all eyes and body language as I'm talking to you. And that's what we're going to have to learn how to do. If nothing else, respect each other's presence. You see? Because that's going to carry you and I a long way. Then I'm going to get started, bro. An eagle is the symbol of power, freedom, and transcendence. Let me say that again. It's not a coincidence that the eagle is on the American commerce. Let me say that again. And let me slow it down again. Football team. I'm going to say this again. If it's that important, because I can't move forward what I'm ready to go into, because it applies to all of us. I'm just using that eagle because that eagle does something that all of us have to do every day. That's the tech brother, that all of us have to do every day. But I want to take my time that you can hear me out and compare and contrast where I'm going at it, because it's heavy, brother. That eagle is a symbol of freedom, power, and transcendence. Do you know, young brother, that eagle, once it has eggs, it turns its nest over? I'm going to say that again. Soon as that eagle have little chicks, it turns the nest over. Do you know why? It's heavy, bro. When I studied this, I say this is deep. It turns the nest over because either its babies is going to fly or what? Come on now. That's why you highly intelligent, youngster. I'm going to say this again, Dunbar. As soon as them little babies is born, man, the mother turned it over. I say, man, goddamn. It's different, bro. It turned it over. Because if you don't fly, you what? Shit, man. This is heavy, bro. So I say, wait a minute. Either it's going to fly or it's going to die. So as I continue to study an eagle, that eagle, it can foresee when a storm is approaching long before the storm breaks. I said, damn, this is heavy. Because what the eagle does is that eagle flies to 10,000 to 15,000 feet before the storm comes. I'm coming to you, Dunbar, because we're going to end it on this. So I'm saying if the eagle can fly to 10,000 and 15,000 feet before the storm approaches, I ask myself the question, how is it That eagle is in tune to the environment and sensitive to air pressure. Good God Almighty. I said to myself, I got to be in tune to my environment and sensitive to what I'm hearing in the street. Telling you how to survive, Dunbar. Everybody all right? All right. So instead of hiding, that eagle would fly and then wait for the winds to come. I say, man, this is a bad bird here. At 10,000 to 15,000 feet, it goes all the way up, then it waits. I said, damn, what the hell is it waiting for? It wait for, it don't run. It wait for the storm to come. Then according to the Webster Dictionary, a storm is any difficulty. I'm going to say that again, Dunbar. Any difficulties. So since it waits for the storm to come, when the storm comes, that eagle lifts itself up on the winds of the storm. And I'm telling you, Dunbar, that's what we got to do. Whenever the difficult factors of reality that we got to deal with in the choices, in the circumstances, and the conditions that we got to live with every day, because we got to live with it every day, struggle is ordained. When those difficult factors come, you got to rise above, first of all, the emotions, and then lift yourself up above the difficulties. But this cannot be done if we don't have the right attitude. I'm going to say it again, brother. If we don't have the right attitude. So what the eagle does, the eagle takes the force of the storm to lift itself up. Good God Almighty. I'm going to say it again, man. And this is why I love this generation, because the generation ain't ducking nothing. I want you to listen to me, youngin', man. It uses the storm, the force of the storm, to lift itself, because it ain't ducking nothing. It's waiting on the storm to come that it can use the force of the storm to lift itself up, man. Come on, man. What I'm saying, man, what am I saying to these Dunbar young men? I'm saying that we continue to have to use the forces of the storm and the difficulties of our life to lift ourselves up over it. And that's the crux of the message in which I wanted to give, because we got to deal with that every day. So I thank you, Dunbar, because I'll be back next Thursday to speak to probably the seniors this time. So I want to thank y'all for giving me the opportunity, as always. And I see y'all next Thursday, probably at 12:15, if you're not doing nothing. Thank y'all, Dunbar.